Hi, this is Michael Price from Kingdom Freedom Academy, and I'm super excited to bring to you today another lesson from the Quantum Leap Strategy by Price Pritchard. Highly, did I say highly? Yes, highly recommend getting this book. Today, I'm going to read 2 pages called Quit Trying Harder. As you can see, I got more yellow more highlighting than not. This book is invaluable. So here we go. Consider how you're trapped by your own solutions, like struggling with Chinese handcuffs. Now, if you don't remember that one, go back to a previous video. That was I think the very first one. So quit trying harder. Quantum leaps demand new patterns of thought and action. I recall Grant Cardone talk, if you know Grant Cardone of 10X, what Grant Cardone says, hey, in order to achieve 10X, you have to 10X your belief system, your thoughts. You have to 10X your actions. Well, this has got a slightly different approach, but yeah, I'm sure you get the idea. So if you just keep on doing what you've been doing, the odds are you'll keep on getting what you've been getting. Likewise, if you try to achieve a breakthrough by simply trying harder, where was I? The best you're probably going to do is make some gradual gains, incremental progress maybe, but not a quantum leap. People ordinarily assume that achieving more calls for greater effort. I know I have. When they're stuck, they rely on trying harder to get unstuck. When they're stuck, they rely on trying harder to get unstuck. Okay, maybe I'm supposed to read that twice. But more of the same doesn't fit into the U squared formula. More of the same is a trap. The apparent logic of that approach is seductive, particularly when you're under stress, but don't fall for it. Persistence holds little promise in the breakthrough process. Now, this is a distinction, so please listen carefully. They're not saying don't be persistent. You've been taught that persistence is a virtue, but there's more to the story. Indiscriminate persistence, here's the key, indiscriminate persistence can be a curse, causing you to waste time and energy on a hopeless situation. Your solutions can't become a major part of your problem. I've actually heard a saying that I love. It says, the mind that created the problem can't be the mind that solves the problem. In other words, you've got to think differently. That's why the Bible says there's wisdom in an abundance of counselors, someone else to help you think outside the box, to help you think differently. Anyway, granted, there are circumstances in life where selective persistence, let's call it staying power, is critically important, maybe even in the pursuit stage of a quantum leap. Not on the front end, though. So here's the distinction. This is talking about on the front end. Stephen Covey wrote a book he called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of those habits is start with the end in mind. So before you get going, I like another analogy of, a lot of times I've thought success is throwing a ladder up against the wall, climbing up it as fast as I can, getting to the top. But if you don't have quantum leap type thinking up front, then you'll find yourself, like I have, on top of the wrong wall. Then you've got to go through the time and the energy to climb down the wall and move your ladder to another wall, right? So this again is saying not on the front end, though, when you're supposed to be changing gears instead of just doggedly doing the same old thing with more vigor and determination. That reminded me of like riding a bicycle up a hill. So when you get stuck, right, it seems like the hill gets steeper and steeper and steeper, right? And if you've ridden a bicycle, let's say a 10-gear bicycle, first gear is where you can pedal really, 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 really fast, really easily. But if you're going uphill, it's like you're pedaling harder and harder and harder. And the steeper the hill, the less results you're getting, right? So what this is saying is you need to shift gears, right? You need to think differently. So harder is not automatically better. Your level of effort doesn't matter as much as the kind of effort. In other words, what you do is more important than how hard you do it. A quantum leap isn't something you make happen, it's something you allow to happen. The key is not to get in the way. Relying on raw effort will only make you a victim of your own struggles. The quantum leap strategy will fascinate you with what it offers in terms of return on investment. You accomplish far more with less effort than you've been giving. That's impressive enough, but the bonus is the speed at which you'll receive this bigger payoff. Instead of trying harder, try easier. Sounds great, doesn't it? Look for the radically different approaches that would be easier, almost effortless. Now, last thing I'm going to share with you, I read one of these the other day and it talked about, looking for it here, the title, Go for a Breakthrough. Actually, that was just yesterday. So this morning when I woke up thinking about it, I was ready to go on to the next chapter of the book, and the Lord prompted me, and he said, hey, if you know all this information, but you're not doing it, is that going to do you any good? Of course not. So he prompted me to slow down, to stop, don't open up the book and go to the next chapter. Make sure I fulfill on the prior chapter. And yesterday, again, was talking about going for a breakthrough. So I asked the Lord, what would be a breakthrough? He gave me a much larger goal, which led to a much larger idea, many of them actually. So that's my invitation to you, is not just to listen to this. I would pause the video, take some quiet time, ask the Lord to give you revelation of what he wants you to do from what you're hearing, what you're being prompted to, and then take action on it. Hope that helps. Look forward to seeing what you got out of today's lesson. And then make sure you share this with someone else, because that's going to help you. God bless you.